You're listening to the Book Your Dream Clients podcast, episode 48. Today, I am visiting with my new friend, Mariana, and we are chatting all about why it's important to build a group program into your business model. She has some really great tips for you if you're thinking about scaling your business and making a bigger impact with your clients and your students. Make sure you're taking notes. This is a good one.
You're listening to the Book Your Dream Clients podcast, where we believe business can be simple and you can use your intuition to run towards your goal. Self-made business and success coach Lindsay Maloney helps you start and scale your dream coaching business. With her step-by-step intuitive and creative guidance, you'll leave ready to put her tips into action, push your business forward, and work with your dream clients. Lindsay is here to help you get unstuck and structure your brilliance into a coaching business that's sustainable and financially exhilarating. Here's your host, Lindsay Maloney.
Before we get started with this episode, I want to talk to you about my program, Standout Coaching Academy, or SOCA as everyone calls it. It's a 90-day program that's going to help you book your dream clients. And this is perfect for you if you are a coach who is ready to create, launch, or scale your coaching business. If you want to fill your calendar up with dream clients who inspire you, and you want to make an impact in the world with work that you feel called to do, I want you to enroll in SOCA. SOCA is an extremely powerful program that will take your coaching business to the next level. And I have 3 ways that you can join me right now, be a part of the 90-day program, join other like-minded women, network with them, learn the best ways that you can build your coaching business just the way that I've created and scaled mine, so you can stop having those sleepless nights with all the information overload and stop doing everything by yourself. So many coaches are struggling to get their businesses started, and I want that to stop right now. So I'm inviting you to go to standoutcoachingacademy.com, check it out, and enroll. Mariana, thank you so much for being on the Book Your Dream Clients podcast. I've been really looking forward to visiting with you.
Thanks. Thanks for having me.
I love what you do. I've been looking at your Instagram, of course, because I live there, I feel, and hanging out on your website. I'm all about what you do. So why don't you go ahead and just introduce yourself, tell us what you're about and who you serve and how you serve them.
Yeah, so my business is called The Impact Driven Entrepreneur, and we help coaches and consultants to add 6 figures in revenue with a group coaching program.
Love that. So you work with people who are probably more established, who have been working one-on-one with clients more, I'm assuming, correct?
Yeah, usually they either have worked with one-on-one clients or they have some expertise and this is how they choose to bring it online, right? So I've helped like doctors and like different, from different industries, and like they've done their body of work already in a one-on-one setting, or you know what I mean? Like they know what they're going to teach it about, and then they create their group program for the online aspect.
Awesome. So I know why it's important to create a group program, but I want you to tell my audience why you believe creating a group program will help them get that 6 figures in their life.
Yeah. And I want to preface with especially for your audience, where they are, if your ultimate goal is a 6-figure group program and you've never done it before, that's not the first launch, right? So let's just be very clear about that. I'm very honest and very transparent. So the benefits of it is that you start to scale. So you're not trading dollars for hours anymore. There's also immense benefit to your clients. That has been my favorite part because, as you can tell by my brand, it's all about making a difference. So what I started noticing is my clients on the group sessions would have these huge ahas, these huge revelations, because other people in the group were asking questions that they didn't even know they needed to ask, or the way that it was reflected, it was so much easier to see it in someone else's business than in their own. So for me, the group program provides this environment for learning that's really unlike anything else.
Yes, I agree. And I think it's to each their own. Sometimes it depends on what stage you are in your business. Sometimes you want that one-on-one attention, but then sometimes you're like, okay, this is the year where I need to surround myself with people who are going to ask bigger questions than what I could even comprehend. And that's why group programs are so great for students. So tell me why they're so great for the course creator. Why do we want to not stop working, but create a world where we're not, like you said, trading hours for dollars? How does that help us scale our business?
Basically, in one word, you make more money per hour. So you can be making like 10 times what you're currently making in 1 hour of coaching a group. And if you have solid systems and you have some people in place, that could be all you're doing to service the group. So you could very easily add a lot of money to your bottom line and run it to where it's not a ton of work. So that would be the easy way. And for me, like, I'm a mom, right? So for me, what happened is I was full with one-on-one clients. I was still not able to pay for, and you have 3 kids, so you get this, right? It's like when you have multiple children, and we had moved from Texas to New York, and our daycare costs went from like what we paid in a whole week in Texas to 1 day of New York's daycare. Oh my gosh. So, at times 2 kids, right? So, in that moment, and this happened a couple of years ago now, in that moment, I had, a ton of one-on-one clients, but I still couldn't really afford to take out as much as I wanted to be able to put them in daycare the number of hours I needed. So it was like this catch, like crazy, this crazy catch 22. And I said, I actually had sat down with my dad, and my dad is a computer scientist. He has nothing to do about business, but he was just like, you need to raise your prices, or you need to figure out a way to serve all these people at once, because you cannot do this. You're driving yourself insane, right? Like with everything that you're doing. So it's really that ability to work less while making more money. So that was ultimately the solution that worked for me. I just, and I don't only service in a group setting. I do still offer one-on-one, but it's a lot less clients overall. So then my service hours dramatically went down, and the number of work hours that I have per week have drastically reduced as well.
I love that your dad had to take you,
of course,
show you the light.
And he's like the most unentrepreneurial person. He's like, what are you doing?
This is obvious. I love it, because when you do the math, and it makes total sense. If you work with 5 one-on-one clients every quarter, that takes up a lot of hours of your life working with all of those people, working just with 5 people. But if you had a group program where you enrolled 5 or 10 people your first round, you're still spending the same amount of time on a group call that you are with a one-on-one client, for a lot more money that you're bringing into your business with less time. I love that, because that helps people see the light. Like, they don't have to rely on that feast and famine of, okay, you booked all your clients for the quarter, and now what are you going to do next quarter? And you're trying so hard all of the time. You're giving out so much energy. So group programs are a definite must if we want to scale our coaching business. For sure, 100% agree. So if somebody wants to, they're like, yeah, I think I'm ready. I've worked one-on-one with people. I'm ready to scale. How do I even get started with launching my group program? What do I even do?
Yeah. So, the very first thing you want to do is market research. This is so unsexy. Like, I wish I had a sexier answer for you. But market research and validating your idea. It's still the same process as, maybe when you started your one-on-one practice, right? It's like, you want to understand your ideal client and do market research and sell your first one. It's still the same process. So in that way, I want to just empower everyone here and say you already know what to do. I think on another level, though, with a group, especially if you're scaling to selling one-to-many, right? So maybe in the past you've sold one-on-one through just sales calls. And so in that environment, you're selling it every time that you sell it is totally customized to that person. So what happens is when you start selling one to many is your messaging has to be completely dialed in. That I think is the biggest difference, and where the skill set of your current sales process may require you to increase, like your skill set or like what you're doing.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we can work one-on-one with clients and totally customize the experience. But then when we have to write our sales copy and our email and our launch planning for a group program, we have to be really specific with who we help and how we help them, because you're selling them a package. You can't customize an experience for 40 students coming into your program because you do not have the capacity to do that. So that takes you really honing in on what your special skill sets are. And if, like you said, sometimes you need to go and build upon those, or recognize the ones that you already have that you might not be, they might be in the attic of your mind that you're not utilizing in the first place. Okay, so let's say you have an idea and you know who needs this, and you want to validate it. And so what are some like tips you can give people to validate their ideas for a group program?
Yeah, just go sell it. Like, go offer it to the people that you think need it and get some sales in the door. That is, for me, like the ultimate test. Like, I think sometimes in market research, you hear like, okay, just ask them if they would buy it. But to me, that's not true validation. So true validation is when money hits your bank account. And so at that point is when you are fully validated. And I want to also share, it doesn't have to be huge. So this group that I run, it's a 6-figure group now, but when I first launched it, it was, I think I made $1,500, $1,500. It was so small. I had 3 people in it, and my beta price was $500. So, but it was a validation, it was a test, and it worked, right? And then I knew that the program would evolve. I knew the content needed to tweak and improve, and I knew it would become, I actually know now it's going to be $1 million program. But at this point, we're still only at 6 figures, right? However, that first launch, I didn't let go of my desire to make this a very successful program because of the number of sales that I made in the first launch. Does that make sense?
It does. And it's just you got to just put it out there, like you said, and see what happens. And sometimes, I mean, we've all had launches or ideas that we decide, I'm going to see if I can sell this. And sometimes it doesn't go as well as we thought. And we just got to keep trying and keep taking action. I mean, your first idea might not come off as well as you want it to, but you have to just keep trying. Like, we weren't born and we decided to launch a program and okay, boom, there it happened. Like, it takes, just confidence in what you have to offer. And sometimes you have to reframe what it is, or the transformation. You have to maybe hone in on that. But, if you really believe that you have something to offer to a group of people that can change their life in some way or another, then don't let anything hold yourself back. And when I hear somebody say, oh yeah, you have an idea, so go sell it. And that sounds really easy to somebody who's probably done it many times. And I'm just asking this for my audience, like, what's our first step here? If we want to sell it, what do you mean go and sell it? What are you talking about?
Yeah. So what I mean is have a conversation with somebody that needs it and tell them about it. That's all. Like, that's the only thing that you need. How I teach sales is you only need 2 things in sales: a problem you solve and your willingness to help someone. And that's really all that you need. So just go out there and offer it to the person. And what I mean by offer is tell them about it, right? So get them on the phone, tell them about it. And if you're used to selling one-on-one, I would highly recommend that you sell one-on-one. I think that was the biggest mistake that I made with my first group program launch, is I tried to not only scale the offering in terms of selling, offering the service one-to-many, but I was also trying to scale a skill set that I did not yet have, which was selling one-to-many. And so I tried selling with a webinar. And that was what resulted in the 3 sales. When in the past, all of my sales, and I had quite a bit under my belt at that point, had come from one-on-one sales, right? So I had basically sold via a sales call. So if you're going to scale it, I would love for you to tap into what you already know. If you've been selling via sales call, sell via sales call. If you've been selling via challenges, sell via challenges, right? You do not have to make it be something that you do not yet have a skill set at.
Or I'm just going to add to it and say, if sales calls feel super icky to you, don't do it. Because when people say sales calls, I'm like, ick. Like, first of all, nobody wants to get on the phone anyway. And then I feel more comfortable selling in my Facebook group, or I feel more comfortable selling on Instagram, or wherever you feel like, whatever makes you happy, that's where you should go sell. Don't go somewhere where you are like feeling so unaligned, where this feels like you got an assignment from your boss and you hate him for it when you're the one who created it for yourself. Do what feels right for you. That's important.
Yeah, because that's the whole thing. Like in sales, it's a transfer, like they can feel your energy. So if you're not feeling excited and you're not feeling in your flow, in your zone, then they're not going to want it, right? Like that's where the ick factor comes in. So just like do what you've been doing, even if that means you've had like a handful of one-on-one clients, right? How did you get them? What did you do? Let's just do that for your first group launch.
Mm-hmm. I love it. And sometimes maybe you could even tap into your past one-on-one clients and say, hey, I have a group program. You're already comfortable with them, and you can reach out to them. Just think of the things that make you feel comfortable and then go with it. And I mean, you don't need this big marketing budget to launch. You don't need anything to launch anything. You just need an idea and a desire to help people, like Mariana said, and a platform to offer it to people wherever you choose to offer it.
Yeah, because you definitely need people, right?
Yes.
Wall's not going to buy. So yes, absolutely. And I'll give you an example. So usually on our launches, we do a lot of Facebook ads, and we had at the time of this recording, we had like the government shutdown for like 5 weeks. My husband was out of work. He worked, but he just didn't get paid. So it was during the time I was supposed to be running massive ads for my launch. And I didn't. I was like, no, we need the money for other things, right? Mm-hmm. And so we went into this launch not having run ads, but what I did do is have my team really focus on connection with people and really getting out there in a more intentional way, and private messaging, like private people, the right people that we had already built a connection with. And we had our highest converting launch we have ever done, mm-hmm. with the same number of people as when I spent a ton of money on ads, mm-hmm. right? So it's just like what you said there was so huge, because I think there's a lot of people teaching like you have to invest all this money on ads, mm-hmm. on this, like, and if you don't have the skill set and you're not really feeling it, and you're feeling freaked out because you just put all this money into it, it's not going to work as well as if you just show up and do your thing and stay in the flow and really execute it to the best of your ability.
I'm so happy you mentioned that. And I think a lot of people are breathing a sigh of relief, because it can get really scary when you're seeing people you look up to and they're pumping so much money into Facebook ads, and you're like, I can't even picture myself doing that, and I don't even know what I have to be making to even do something that big. And the launches that you do without ads are so great because you're just like reaching out there just like a human being. And it always comes back to, hey, why don't we just try being a human and talking to people like humans and building relationships with them? And then by the time they're enrolled in your program, you already know them because you've been visiting with them in your Facebook group or email or whatever, because you've built a connection. And then that connection is so strong, then they have more of a drive to become a role model student for you, to be your awesome testimonial. And it just carries out so much farther and stronger than bringing somebody in through ads. Don't get me wrong, ads are very important for your business, but building personal connections with your audience is so much more important.
I totally agree.
So this was great. I love this conversation. What's a way somebody can find out more how to build a group coaching program using your methods?
Yeah, you can check out our webinar, the 7 Simple Steps to Launch Your Group Program in 8 weeks.
This is something that a lot of my students will be very interested and listeners interested in learning about. So thank you so much for being on the show, Mariana. I loved having you.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Want 10 ways for you to start booking your dream clients? I created this workbook for you because I wanted to share my best tips on how I book mine. You're not going to believe how easy these are, and I know you'll be able to take my tips and put them into action ASAP so you can start working with your dream clients. To grab the workbook for free, all you have to do is go to lindsaymaloney.com/podcast. Hey coaches, are you a member of the Book Your Dream Clients community yet? Because you should be. Just go to dreamclientcommunity.com to request free access. We do fun things like website audits, challenges, and we even have a book club. Join the free Dream Client community now, and we'll see you there. Thank you so much for listening to the Book Your Dream Clients podcast. If you want to find out more information how you can work with me, just head on over to my website, lindsaymaloney.com. You will be able to see how you can work with me privately or in a group setting. I'm all about helping you start and scale your coaching business, so I'd love to hear from you. Don't forget to subscribe to the show on iTunes and leave a rating and review. And if you want bonus points, take a screenshot of a review and tag me on your Instagram story. I'd love to see it and share it with my audience. And plus, you don't want to miss another episode.